My name is Dave. I'm a military veteran who served 3 enlistments in the United States Army. I'm an avid weight trainer who started training in 1971. That's 46 years ago as of 2017. And I've never stopped. I don't bodybuild or power lift. I just simply train for strength and for the pro sport of arm wrestling, where I've won many trophies. I ride Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and I've even ridden with the club. I started riding dirt bikes at the age of 14. I still ride motorcycles to this day. I've lived many years on my piece of property deep in the country of Central Ohio. I prefer to live out and away from the throes of society because I'm an introvert. Always have been, always will be, and I'm proud of it.
Hey everyone, this is Dave. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Doing Life My Way, the life and the day of an introvert. Hey, I just want to tell you, I want to accomplish 2 things with this YouTube channel. Number one, I just want to expose people to my life, day by day, my life, living as an introvert, because I am an introvert, and I've been an introvert all my life, obviously, and I've had a lot of success, despite the fact that I'm an introvert. It seems like a lot of times this extroverted world we live in wants to shame the introvert or make us feel like we're subpar or that we're antisocial or that we're unsocial or whatever it is, whatever label they want to put on us, that's what they do. And unfortunately, a lot of people buy into that. People who aren't introverts, may not be total extroverts, but they buy into it. And the sad thing about it is a lot of us introverts buy into it. And you know what? There's a lot of us introverts that are very confident, successful people, but there's a lot of us who have bought into this notion that this extroverted world has put on us, that we're inferior to the extrovert. We're quiet and reserved because we're weird, or we're antisocial, or we're, I don't know, whatever label it is they want to put on us. But the fact of the matter is, most of us, if not all of us, are quiet and reserved simply because we're focused. I was lucky enough in 2nd grade, been an introvert all my life, have siblings, have sisters and brothers, and I'm the 2nd oldest. I have an older sister. I have 2 brothers under me and then a baby sister. But I was the quiet one. I was the introvert. And I was reading in 1st grade. I would rather stay in my room and read than get out in the floor and play marbles or whatever, whatever it is. Now, I played sports because that's just what we did. And my dad taught us sports when we were young, and he taught us how to play football. He taught my brothers and my sisters how to wrestle and slap box. We became good at those things, but you know what? I'm going to tell you straight up. I became better at them. By the time I was 16, 17 years old, I was out boxing and out wrestling people in the neighborhood who were in their early 20s. Why? Because I was focused. I listened to everything my dad had to say about everything, from how to string a fishing line to how to bait a hook, how to slap box, how to wrestle, where my brothers and all my friends, my dad would be trying to give us instructions on something, they'd be running their mouth and laughing and hee-hawing and miss everything he would say. But yet, I'm the weird one, because I'm the quiet one, until it was my turn to wrestle them, and I'd tie them in knots. So don't think for 1 minute that because you're an introvert, there's something wrong with you. I like to look at it as, because I'm an introvert, that gives me the edge, not the extrovert. Okay? And that's a good way to look at it. I served 10 years in the United States Army, 1 4-year enlistment, and I re-enlisted twice for 3 each. Gave me 10 years. When I went to school, 4 plus 3 plus 3 was 10. I don't know what it is now with this new modern day math. That was a joke, by the way. But anyway, coming up on an intersection here. I want to be careful as I vlog while I'm driving. But okay. Anywho, I served 10 years in the military. In that 10-year span in the military, I rose to the rank of sergeant, staff sergeant E6. I had a good military career. As you saw by the intro on this video, I have lifted weights all my life and competed in the sport of arm wrestling. I still lift weights to this day. I still bench press well over 300 pounds. I'm squatting over 600 pounds. I want to do 7 this year. It'll be right here on this video. And I arm wrestled professionally for about 9 years. And in that 9 years, I have won many tournaments and many trophies. In 2006, I was ranked 2nd in the nation left-hand 220-pound weight class, 3rd in the nation right-hand 220-pound weight class, and I still train in arm wrestle to this day. Not professionally, but I'll take on challenge matches from anybody on this planet. I have beaten powerlifters, I've beaten pro bodybuilders, I have beaten 650-pound bench pressers in arm wrestling. Are introverts supposed to do that? Are introverts supposed to be that successful at things? You know, I live out in the country right now. About 20 years ago, I worked for a steel company after I got out of the military, and I worked for them for many years. And I took advantage of the savings plans and had a few savings vehicles of my own. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I started looking at everything I'd accumulated, and had a financial advisor sit down with me, and we went over everything. And he said, you know, if you live within your means, you won't have to work another day in your life. So I resigned from my job. Now, 20 years ago, I moved out into the country. I left the city where I lived, and I moved out in the country and bought this piece of property. I built a house on it, and this is where I lived. And then, like I said, 5 years ago, I decided that I'd paid my bills off, and I had some investment vehicles that I've invested in, and the financial advisor simply said, you know what, if you live within your means, you will never have to work again, as I just said. And I quit. And I am financially independent, and that gives me the room to live my life exactly the way I want to live my life and do the things I want to do every day. I knew this guy was going to pull out in front of me. Yeah. Anyhow, it gives me a room to do what I want to do. That's why the name of this channel is Doing Life My Way, because at this point in time in my life, and I have been for a few years, 5 years, I do exactly what I want to do. And I do it as an introvert. I'm proud I'm an introvert. When I watch, I like watching movies alone, because the times I get stuck watching movies with my extroverted friends, all they want to do is talk through the movie. They miss dialogue, they miss scenes, and half the time they're asking you what's going on. And I tell them, I just go right at my extrovert friends. I tell them, dude, you're sitting here watching the same movie I am, and you don't have a clue what's going on because you're running your mouth. I just tell them that. What are they going to do about it? Nothing. So, reading books. I love reading books. But I was lucky enough, when I was in 2nd grade, I had a teacher named Mrs. Stantz. And Mrs. Stantz recognized the fact that I was very quiet and reserved. And she pulled me aside one day and she said, don't let anybody ever tell you that there's something wrong with you. Your grades, I graduated from high school on the honor roll, and I was on honor roll in grade school. I struggled a little bit with grades in junior high, but that was because I had discovered something called girls. But by the time I got in high school, I was able to cope with grades and girls. So even as an introvert, again, is introverts supposed to be able to do those kind of things? Of course we can. You know we can. It's the extroverted world that says we can't. And those are things I'm going to dispel with this channel. As you ride around with me day by day, or walk around the house with me, or you're in the gym with me while I'm lifting weights, or you're out on my motorcycle. I ride Harley Davidson motorcycles. I live a wonderful life. I do what I want. And I've never bought into the notion that there's something wrong with me because I'm an introvert. That's ridiculous, guys. Don't ever do that. So if you're an introvert and you're seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist because certain people have you convinced there's something wrong with you as an introvert and you need to be talking to people you never talk, that's a bunch of bull. You know, get yourself out of that mindset. There's nothing wrong with you just because you're an introvert. Now, if you're seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist for other issues, yeah, I get that. You know, of course, keep seeing your doctor. But if it's just because you're an introvert and somebody's got you convinced you shouldn't be, man, kick those people to the curb. I know the employer I used to work for, the steel company I worked for many years, once or twice a year, he would bring in motivational speakers, and we'd all have to sit through and listen to these guys. These are the highest, most aggressive form of extroverts you'll ever want to see. And so this guy is up here, and he's in this, I don't know, $1,000 suit and his $800 alligator shoes, and he, you know, he's got the Bob Barker tan going on, and he's got the whitewashed teeth, and he's got all these, you know, his gold watch and his rings and his bracelets and, you know, God knows what else, and he's flashing them around. And he's basically telling us how successful he is and how he's accomplished it. And he made a statement. He said, anytime I go out to eat lunch with friends and I look around the restaurant, whether it's a fast food restaurant or an eat-in place, and I look around and I see these people eating lunch by themselves, I just have to wonder what's socially inept about them that they have to eat by themselves. And I wanted to puke on his $800 alligators. I wanted to tell him, look, anyone who cannot go out to lunch without walking around the workplace or calling somebody to meet him for lunch or walking around the workplace trying to gather people to go out with them just to enjoy a lunch, that's the one that's insecure. I know when I go out to eat and I'm eating alone, I am perfectly content with being there. And the last thing on my mind is, oh my gosh, I don't have anybody to eat with me. What will the introverts in this place think? Not. Come on. If you got to have somebody to go out to eat with you for you to feel secure enough to enjoy your lunch, there's something wrong with you, dude. Most extrovert, I'm sorry, I had it right the first time. Most extroverts I know, they're the ones that need the counseling. If you can't go anywhere, if you can't watch a movie, if you can't go out to eat without meeting people around you, people to laugh at your one-liners and ha-ha when you ha-ha and go where you go, dude, you're the one with the issues. You're the one with the insecurity complexes. You're the one that needs to see the shrink, not us. So these are the type of things I'm going to be discussing on this channel. You'll be riding with me if I'm riding around, if I'm working around the house, whatever I'm doing when I'm vlogging. And this is not scripted, as you can tell. I just went in the car to eat. I've already eaten. I'm headed home. And if you're paying attention to the scenery behind me, like I said, I live way out in the country. Central Ohio. I live an hour north of Columbus, and that's all I'll narrow down to. I grew up in Columbus and worked in Columbus, and I've been out here in the country in Central Ohio on a gravel road. I live on a gravel road in the boondocks on my own piece of property, and I love it. So, welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this channel. This is just a little bit of stuff I'll be talking about. Be covering a whole variety of things, a whole wide range of things, but we'll always be coming back to the fact that I'm an introvert, and as introverts, if you're watching this channel and you're an introvert, and by the way, this channel is for the introvert, extroverts are welcome, but watch what you say, because I'm going to tell you right now, I do not tolerate trolls. I do not tolerate disrespectful people. And sometimes extroverts have a habit of doing that, and I don't take that stuff off of any extrovert. Never have, never will. So if you're an extrovert and you don't like the things I'm saying, it would behoove you to stay off my channel. Because if you come on and leave derogatory comments, I will delete your comments and I will ban you from the channel the very first time. I don't tolerate trolls, disrespectful, or argumentative people. And it's my channel, and I'll say what I want to say on it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's the way I'm going to run my channel. But if you're an introvert, feel free. Drop in. I'll try to do 1 or 2 videos a week. Drop in, leave good comments. We'll get through this thing together. We'll have a blast together. And like I said, as long as you're an extrovert who knows how to behave himself or herself, you're welcome to. But you start stepping out of line, I'll give you one warning. You do it after that, comments are deleted and you're banned from the channel. All right, everyone. Until next time, later, Gators.